Boyd and Andy's sports vendor will not be seen at this time, so we may provide you the following piece of information. This just in. More info about the Danger Rangers live show has been found, but not the actual show itself. Baby steps, Gokai. Baby steps. Baby steps. Over the past few months, I've been on a bit of a lost media kick surrounding Danger Rangers. As mentioned in the Danger Rangers Iceberg video, there are 3 pieces of Danger Rangers lost media. A series of radio spots for XM Radio, a trilogy of PSAs for a children's hospital in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the focus on today's Addendum, a Danger Rangers live show that took place at Dutch Wonderland in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. For those who either need a refresher or are new to this channel, Danger Rangers was an animated series from newcomers to the media that focused on teaching safety to those watching. It lasted 1 season on certain PBS stations, but it had enough of a local push to see multiple community endeavors, such as this live show. Running from roughly 2006 to 2008, people in mascot suits of 3 of the main characters, Burble, Sully, Kitty, and later on, Gabriella, would speak to kids in the audience and sing songs from the show. That's really all there is to this live show. Just 20 minutes of that. Despite the relatively low vibe of the show, it was successful enough to warrant an honorable mention for the IAAPA Awards, and there were plans for it to expand beyond Dutch Wonderland. Now, after my addendum that talked about the live show went up, I had found another piece of information about the show, mainly the stage. This photo, coming from a mommy blog on MySpace of all places, shows a very low quality image of the stage, which is nothing more than a cartoony landscape with the Danger Rangers logo on it. From what I'm able to deduce, and with what information I was given, this was the park's amphitheater. While this is a pretty cool find, the only known picture of the stage itself, that's nothing compared to what I would discover in early December. One aspect I failed to look into was attempting to reach out to people from the Lancaster area about if they recall this live show being at Dutch Wonderland. I didn't do this because A, I don't know anyone specifically from this area, B, the show had closed roughly 14 years ago, and C, Dutch Wonderland is not a big-name theme park. It's very much a local park that a specific community has grown up with since the 60s. But nevertheless, I had found someone who had not only watched the live show as a kid, but remembered enough to talk about it years later on a forum. On the forums for WDW Magic, a fan-run site about the Disney parks, a user by the name of BRB1006 spoke about this show on a miscellaneous thread back in August. The forum post went, "I remember near the end of summer 2006 that my aunt and cousin invited me to a small family trip to Lancaster, Pennsylvania to visit Dutch Wonderland. At the time, I thought I wouldn't enjoy the place, thinking it might be like Storybook Land, which is located in Egg Harbor, New Jersey. However, I ended up liking Dutch Wonderland due to how charming and well kept it is. Back when the PBS animated series Danger Rangers was brand new, Dutch Wonderland had a special Danger Rangers stage show that featured Sully the Seal, Kitty the Cat, and Burble the Polar Bear. I remember we saw the first couple of minutes, but left when it started to rain, causing us to return back to the hotel. The next day, me, alongside my cousin, were searching for the stage location. We spotted Sir Brandon, the Knight of Safety, heading to the stage and managed to watch the entire show from start to finish. After Sully, Kitty, and Burble finished singing about water safety, Sir Brandon invited guests to meet the characters before the show was over. From this post, I was able to gather a few things, mainly the fact the show ends with "Everybody be water safe," which is what BRB linked in the post. It also makes sense considering the park has a water play area on property. What really interested me was what came next in the post. The park also sold Danger Rangers merchandise that could be found at the park's gift shop inside the castle. I remember seeing a photo showing Sully, Kitty, Burble, and a red bird, Gabriella, who wasn't present at the park. I think that specific photo must have been taken from another amusement park that was owned by Palace Entertainment. actual honest-to-God merch. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this was just educational adventures selling stuff you could get elsewhere, like the DVDs and books, or if this was merch specifically created for the park. I want to lean towards a bit of both, considering the mention of a photo you could purchase. I want to say it's this one, considering it's on the Dutch Wonderland website, but I'm not 100% sure. That being said, however, I do want to make one correction about this post. BRB said the photo could have been taken at another Palace Entertainment park. Not only do I have no concrete proof this show reached other parks, Palace Entertainment did not own Dutch Wonderland until 2010, about 2 years after the live show closed up shop. No, when Danger Rangers were at Dutch Wonderland, the park was owned by, get this, Hershey Entertainment. Dutch Wonderland and Hershey Park used to be corporate neighbors. And before you ask, no, I couldn't find any indication that the Rangers stepped foot in Hershey Park. Regardless, I had found someone with the knowledge I needed to get a clearer picture of this show. So as soon as I could, I made an account on the forum and sent BRB a message inquiring about their visit to the park. Thankfully, they got back to me almost immediately, and I began chatting with them about what they could remember. The first thing I learned right off the bat was the fact that Danger Rangers' theme song served as the intro and outro to the show. Pretty typical of licensed stage show fare for sure. After showing me a park map from when the show was active, BRB said this. When we first saw the show, which was the day it was raining and left early, I remember seeing Sully the Seal peeking from behind the stage as the Knight of Safety was welcoming guests. As the Danger Rangers theme song was beginning to play, the Knight of Safety introduced the three. I can only remember bits such as either Sully or Kitty, possibly both, teaching visitors about road crossing, and the finale was about water safety. I'm not sure if this show did perform at the other Palace Entertainment parks, but judging by the photo that I recall seeing, it's possible this show was performed at other parks. No, it wasn't. So instead of a park employee, Sir Brandon, the Knight of Safety, acted as MC. I mentioned in the addendum that the character of Sir Brandon was most likely Warren Smith's point of entry when it came to finding a place to host this live show. But while Sir Brandon acted as MC, BRB eventually dropped this bombshell. The Rangers did most of the talking, while Sir Brandon only talked during the opening introduction and the finale where guests were invited to meet the trio. As a person who had seen the show in person as a kid, the original voice actors for Sully, Kitty, and Burble all reprised their roles for this show. Now this is what I was the most curious about. Whether or not the Rangers talked, and if they were voiced by Jerry, Gray, and Kevin. Based on BRB's recounting of the live show, it appears this was indeed the case. As mentioned before, some of the cast would reprise their roles for supplementary material, like Jerry voicing Sully for DVD trailers and a few of the Flash games. And that's where our conversation ended for the time being. BRB was more than happy to keep in touch, and shortly after our conversation, I linked them to the Lost Media wiki page on the show, and they subsequently added to it. So that about wraps it up for this addendum. While the chances of finding footage of this show in full is still a pipe dream, I know more about it and have a better visualization of how it could have looked and played out. Very special thanks to BRB 1006 for their help in bringing more about the show to light. Before I go, however, something I should have said in the previous addendum. If you or anyone you know visited Dutch Wonderland during the time this show was there, did you see it? Do you remember anything about it? Do you remember seeing merch in the park's gift shop? Did you happen to record your visit and get the show filmed? If so, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. It'd be cool to see this become a bigger lost media search. And with that, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to making contact with a certain Jim Jenkins.